International Pastors Retreat. It's a time of rest and renewal for pastors, rabbis, church leaders, and ministers. It's an exchange of experience and new ideas, informal fellowship, and abundance of prayer, of course.
The Pastors Retreat is always a special time, especially during this time of war. There's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of disappointment, a lot of problems. And a pastor should not only have the time to give, but also to receive.
I think that every minister needs this kind of time on occasion and to go on a trip, and then they can see their ministry from a different perspective.
How to remain an effective leader during a crisis? What new opportunities do churches and congregations have at this time? How do you strengthen and adapt your ministry during times of war, challenges, and changes? Every year at the Pastors Retreat, speakers raise topics that are relevant to the times we live in. By the way, despite the war in Ukraine, this year both speakers and participants from different countries managed to come to the retreat, including European countries, the USA, and even Korea. In total, leaders from 19 countries joined online and offline services. There were 55 rabbis, 30 pastors, 5 bishops, and 5 mission leaders among them.
We've never felt a sense of fear. We've really felt that we've been embraced so well with so many people that we haven't even thought about it. But to see the resilience and the passion and the joy in the midst of difficulty amongst the people here, and all these wonderful rabbis and bishops and pastors and leaders that have gathered together, that really does affect more than Ukraine. It will ripple across the nations of the world.
I felt sense of urgency and seriousness of what's happening in Ukraine with the war and everything else that's happening. And I felt this is a season for God to really raise up a new leadership, but not only for Ukraine, but the leadership for the entire world that's coming out of Ukraine through the Messianic community.
In addition, this year's Pastors Retreat took place during a difficult time of war, both in Israel and Ukraine.
If we begin to give into this darkness that's covering the earth, that thick darkness that's covering the people, then naturally we'll give in to that oppression, that failure and defeat that the enemy's bringing through those dreadful events to the earth. To Ukraine and Israel.
I think that one of the reasons for such unity is still Jewish in nature. There are many conferences and the Lord's Spirit works everywhere, but here is a central place where everyone has an understanding or a revelation in regards to the Jewish people. Anti-Semitism still exists in the church.
Therefore, seminars on anti-Semitism and the Veil of Silence were held in separate blocks during the retreat by the TOS team from Tübingen, Germany. There, the speakers shared how repentance for anti-Semitism can change not only the fate of entire countries and regions, but also affect ministries, churches, and congregations.
And when we looked at the roots of anti-Semitism in our lives as well as our town and acknowledged them, God opened the door of blessings, and our lives and town were transformed.
Traditionally, the retreat holds separate meetings for men and women. It gives an opportunity to be more candid in discussing quite delicate and important topics.
We're with you, so I leave stronger, happier, even if we're thousands of miles to get away, we're together in heart.
The Pastors Retreat that has been taking place for the last 14 years is more than just a place for new ideas and inspiration. First of all, it is a place of rest and immersion into the special presence of God. Don't miss the next retreat. Up-to-date information about the participation details and dates can be found on the retreat website and resources of the Jewish Messianic Congregations Union.